Hello there, coffee enthusiasts. It's the Mean Bean Machine back again for another coffee review for getbeaned.com. Today we are checking out Café Direct's DR Congo whole beans from their London Field Roastery. Now, we found out about this particular blend from a very interesting independent article. That's an article from the Independent kind of online newspaper, not independent article. But we found out about this blend through this article that basically said about the top 10 best independent coffee beans you can pick up, or coffee beans from independent roasters you can pick up quite easily. Most of them were in supermarkets, or most were from the independent roasters or their kind of coffee shops. Now this particular one is available in Waitrose, so those of you who have a Waitrose near you, this kind of appealed to us because it's in a supermarket, and I've kind of mentioned this before, it's not too often you get a decent coffee in a supermarket, and you sure as hell don't get kind of many independent ones. But Café Direct I have tried before a long time ago. I wasn't a huge fan of the one I tried. I could not tell you what it was, and again, this was quite a while back. I don't think I got whole beans either, which is now my preferred way of buying them. So anyway, we read this article. There's a few we've tried in there. We've reviewed a couple of roasteries on that list. We will post the link to that article in the description of this video, so you can check out those 10 coffees from independent roasteries that you can try out. But we heard about this one. I have a Waitrose near me, so I picked it up the other day, and we're going to give it a go. Now, what's particularly nice about Café Direct is they invest about half of their profits back into the communities where the coffee is being grown. Now this particular one is from the Democratic Republic of Congo, as it says right there on the front of the packet, and it deals with a cooperative of farmers with small holdings, and invests a lot of its money back into projects to do with gender equality there. And it's investing in a community kind of torn apart by civil war. So it's doing a lot of good things out there, as well as producing what we hope is really nice kind of coffee. So we've picked this coffee up, and its tasting notes are very interesting. It's got its tasting notes right there on the back. It says rich coffee with honeycomb hints of dark chocolate and delicate lime acidity for bright, balanced, full-on flavour experience. Now, honeycomb is an interesting one in terms of you don't hear it that much. I'm interested to see how that comes across. I feel that might be quite a buttery taste, which isn't a bad thing in terms of I quite like creamy coffees. What's interesting is it mentions kind of dark chocolate and then lime acidity. You don't tend to get something so, I guess, heady as dark chocolate mentioned next to something quite acidity as lime. It does specifically say delicate lime, so I think there'll be a light kind of acidic overtones to maybe cut through that headiness. I don't know yet. We will find out. But all of these coffees are kind of small batch roasted, which is another interesting thing. So that kind of, you don't tend to find that certainly in supermarkets because obviously the whole thing is mass production, get it out there. But you do pay for the small batch production. It's like $5.50 for a bag that's about 200 grams. 200 grams, $5.50. So that's quite a lot in terms of something you'd pick up from the supermarket. If you're buying independent coffee anyway, you probably wouldn't shudder at that. Or you might, but you know, you'd be used to it. So that's what we're looking at. So we are going to give it a try as an espresso. I believe it's probably supposed to be tried as a cafetiere blend, but when I get whole beans, I like to put them through as an espresso anyway. So we'll give it a go and see what it tastes like. So we'll just set that off now. Now I'm really interested in these because, again, it does kind of big things with the project, as well as hopefully producing good coffee, which is, you know, what you want really. You know, so your money's kind of hopefully going somewhere. It's got the fair trade label and the organic label. Doesn't necessarily mean a lot, but it's something. So we will give it a go and see what we think. So it's come out quite nicely there. Oh, look at the crema on that. The crema on that from just a home espresso machine. That looks absolutely glorious. You don't often get a really kind of golden crema from, you know, home blends. It smells quite nice. Like I said, quite a heady aroma. Yeah, a nice heady aroma. So I'm interested to see if those acidic tones do come through. So we'll give it a sip, see what we think. Now that's interesting. The chocolatey note you can definitely tell is there. I understand where they're coming from when they say dark chocolate. In terms of honeycomb, I don't taste that, but it is quite creamy, and I think really that's a kind of buttery note that they're trying to get at, but you can't really say buttery. It's not going to really draw people in, but it's got a creaminess to it that I think that's what they're getting at with. I don't get a lot of acidity. But again, there's you sort of understand where it's coming from with a sort of, there's a cut to it that kind of stops that creaminess. So, you know, from it being too rich and creamy, we'll give it a go with some oat milk as well. But that is a really lovely espresso there. So, sorry, that is a terrible pour. Look at that, awful foam there. But that's my skills. But we'll give it a go. Oh, now that is lovely with milky blend. The richness, the creaminess really comes out. If you like a creamy coffee and do like milky coffees, that's fantastic. I love that. That is wonderful. And yeah, so those chocolatey notes kind of really come out there, and it's a lovely creamy blend. So I think that's what it's trying to get at with its tasting notes. Slightly expensive, but easy to pick up if you're near a Waitrose, and you know, it's doing good things. So I really like that. That's fantastic. Thank you very much.